welcome back to the channel. I'm Mojo, and today we're going to be doing an interior upgrade. As you can see here, let me get out of this. So this is Maisie. I actually have the new seats. It actually looks pretty dang good right now. It needs a vacuum, but avoid that or just ignore that. So the dash actually has huge cracks in the top, and so what we're going to be doing is swapping in a new dash. I have a second gen dash that I will be pulling, or I'll be using for this. So this is going to come out. I'm going to take this out, and I will be selling that actually, or actually I can just see if anybody wants it and I'll send it to them. So let me know if you want that. And I will be removing this crusty dash. I can actually show you from the top how bad it really is. So yeah, it's bad. Might have to take out the seats. I'm not 100% sure. I really kind of want to avoid that, but if I have to, I have to. So first thing we're gonna do is probably smart to disconnect the battery, because we're gonna be unplugging a lot of stuff, and anytime you're unplugging things, you want to make sure that there's no chance of you shorting anything out. So we're gonna disconnect the negative terminal on the battery and start removing. Start on like the knee resting area. So there's supposed to be 2 bolts down here, one over here and one over there, and you'll have to remove the 2 screws for the hood release latch. But actually what we're going to start is you'll have a pry tool. Get in here. These break are easy, so just be careful. There's that one. And then hard to do with one hand, guys. Give me a break. There we go. So the other one is actually screwed back there, or a bolt, and there's also a bolt back there. So we're gonna move those 2 and the 2 Phillips heads down here, and we should be able to remove the and apparently somebody decided to do a little bit of wiring. So yeah, there's a splice here, a splice up here, there's this tangle that goes all the way up. Yeah, I'm gonna have a whole lot of fun figuring out this. Base model, don't even worry about it, just slide it back. There's a little push clip all the way in the back, pop it out, and then there's a Phillips here, and then the whole thing will just come right out. Everything on the driver's side. So I have this panel removed that's ready to start removing stuff down here so that we can take the center console unit out. So, but next we're going to do is there's 2 Phillips here. You're gonna remove this, you pull that out, remove these 2 plugs, and then you can get to the gauge cluster. So the gauge cluster is held in with 4 screws, one here, 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 and back here. So let me get that again. There, 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 and back. So you actually just pull it out once you have the 4. It might not want to come out because you have plugs that just push right in. So don't be scared to give it a good yank. You will not pull these out. So and then you have 2 10mm that's to hold in the dash. So we'll move on to the next step. All right, guys, so we're actually gonna pry it up from the back like this. It pries it out, and then you've got 2 screws here. Excuse my dirty center console. You have 2 screws back here. Remove the entire center console. Removed. Where you're going to make our way to this. I pulled this bad boy out. It goes behind the handbrake, just a clip, and pull it straight up. And then next we're going to, let me get rid of this crap. Next we're going to lift up this. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. So you're gonna lift up the brake or the shifter boot, and then you'll pop this up. Try and do this with one hand, guys. Give me a minute. Pop this up. You'll be able to remove these plugs, and then you can actually take a pry tool, remove this outer trim, and then there's screws to hold in the radio. Pull the radio out, unplug the plugs, and then there's some screws right here, and then there's miscellaneous screws, like there's one down here, and then you'll have to disconnect any of these plugs and then swap over your relays and stuff. So yeah, I guess that's the gist of it. So if there's anything I didn't just cover, I will come back and do that. And right there, I need that removed on both sides, and then you should be able to pull this up once you remove all your plugs. Now that you have all these removed, you're gonna wonder, like, why won't this come out? There's actually all these little retaining clips for this wiring harness that you have to take a needle nose pliers to and pop out every single one, and then undo all your plugs that are attached to it. There's not necessarily an easy way to do it, so just grab some needle nose and start pinching and pushing out the retainers. You have your clips here. I already removed one of them, but then just pull you twist these light bulbs out, and there's one up here that you're gonna have to hit with like a needle nose, or maybe even pry it. There it is. And then push it down, and then let's try to see if I can get this with one hand. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this with one hand, but then you're free. You can take that out, move on to the next. Now I'm removing I did remove the dash, or not the dash. Can't think of this glove box. Gosh, I'm slow right now. So there's 2 screws or 2 bolts right here, 10 mils, and then there's a 10 mil down here, but that's just for the dash. So and then I just removed this actually. Dang it. Okay, so this metal piece that it swings on actually sits between this plastic and metal. I just removed it in general, so there was 2 10 mils. I think that's it. So it's pretty easy. Actually, no, I lied. So there's the latch you had to remove, and then there was 2 long 10 mils like this. So, and they're right here. So it's pretty simple. So, yep. Which is removing the climate control, and once that's removed, we should be good to remove the entire dash. So just be careful when you're doing it. Just removing these plugs. There's 3 of them that go into the module for the computer, and then there's 2 screws here. Remove those. Now this is free. You don't actually have to remove this from the dash. It bolts to the back right here. So now you're good to keep going. Oh, I need to get this covered. But there's a bolt here, and then we'll go on to that side to remove some more. So I got this one removed, and looks like to remove the whole dash, I have to take these out. I threaded these in just because it was in the way. Or I put them back after I removed that knee panel. So I'm gonna take these out, and then there's 2 10 mils back here, and then we'll see where we're at from there. But if you have a 93 and older, I should say, so 91, 92, 93, you're gonna have a drive-by cable system. People that'll take these videos will have a drive-by wire, and they won't even be able to tell you how to do this. But we figured it out. So there's this piece you have to separate. You have to push it apart like this, and then put a screwdriver underneath of it and pry it out. That's how we got it done. I wish I could have got it on camera, but we were stuck on it for a couple hours. So if you guys need anything, to learn about this, or need to talk to me, or a better explanation, DM me on Instagram or comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to help. But now that we have all the screws, bolts, and the plugs removed, we can lower the steering wheel all the way down, and what we're gonna do is pull it right out. Contrary to what we actually believed initially, there are 2 12 millimeters here that you have to remove. I thought you didn't have to, but for whatever reason we had to this time, and yeah, so it drops it down. It's only 2 12 millimeters, so it doesn't take much time. So now we are ready to pull them out. Make sure that you get these plugs down here, because we forgot about those. You have to push them through like we did with all the center console jazz. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Sam, you want to pull this bad boy out? Oh, you got it? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Sweet. There we go. Rolling. So I pulled my first gen dash, and I had the spare second one laying around that I got from somebody, and all you do is remove the entire harness all the way around. You have to remove the air vents, but you remove the dash harness out of the old one, and then you swap it into the new one. It's pretty easy as long as you're taking pictures. So because my phone's almost dead and I don't have an actual camera, you get to see this cleaned out in 3, 2, 1. one. Boom, baby. It actually doesn't really look that much better, but hey, my vacuum sucks. So yeah, I wiped down the glass where you couldn't reach with the dash in. So what I'm going to do is drop down the steering wheel and then try to install this dash by myself, which is going to be a pain in the butt. I'm actually ready to throw in the dash, except I remembered when I did the last one that if you're swapping in a second gen dash into a first gen car, you have to remove this piece. 10 millimeter bracket, super easy to replace, or take out, I should say. And once that's out, you're ready to do the swap. Woo, baby! It's actually really easy to get in myself, a lot easier than I thought. Well, I did it once already, so we just want to make sure if you have the 90, if you have the drive-by cable model, you want to make sure that this goes in first, and then you line up your center dowel. Once you line in your center dowel, it literally slides right in. So your biggest thing is to make sure you remove this part, because if you don't, you literally can't put this part in. So I'm super excited to do this. So let's go, baby. Let's I guess we're gonna start with bolting in the dash again, and then once we get that done, we'll move on to pushing in the gauge cluster, making sure everything goes back the way it was. So awesome, I'm excited, guys. First update I've done in a while, and oh my gosh, she's in there really good. I put in most of the bolts. I literally only have this one I have to throw in. I plugged in all the harnesses, pushed them up. I threw in the airbag, just pushes in. So, and considering that it's not being wired up, it's literally just there for show. I took apart the glove box, put that in. If you have questions on how to do that, feel free to hit me up, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through what I did. But if you took it apart, you should remember how to put it back together. That's kind of what I was thinking. So now all I have to do is throw in this one bolt, and then I can throw in the gauge cluster along with the cover that goes along with that. So pretty excited. We'll move on to the next step. All right, guys, I just threw in the digital climate control computer, and actually, if you were to look back there, that's actually the ECU. So if you ever need to replace the ECU, it's back here. You'll have to remove all this crap. So I'm got this all buttoned up. For whatever reason, I can't seem to get rid of this gap. No matter what I do, every single bolt's in. Doesn't really make sense, but I'm willing to live with it considering what the car used to be. So I've been taking out all the vents and electronics and cleaning them with plastic cleaner, so they look really like rejuvenated and just back to life. So I am actually heading on to the digital climate control area. I'm going to throw that in. Actually, I might not do that considering mine's not working. So I might open up mine. I mean, I went to school for, I did a bunch of electronic engineering things. So I might actually look at that, see if just a capacitor needs replaced. So I think that'll be my next step. I will be opening up that and then going on from there. So, all right, guys, now I have the digital climate control in. Just couple screws either side, and then now I'm throwing in the center console. As you can see, I would recommend putting these two in first, because when you remove this is stuck in place. You're bolting everything else to either the under part of the dash. So I usually start up here. There's two screws here. There's one on either side down here, right there, and then there's another one behind these plugs right there, and then on the opposite side too, and then two screws right here. So it's pretty solid right now, but it's not even bolted in all the way. So I'm gonna run through and follow everything I installed and tighten everything up, and then move on to the next part, which would be right here, the 12-volt cruise control and the little cubby deal right here. Cleaned it up, took it apart, looks nice and clean. So but down here, don't forget you have a bulb for ashtray and a bulb for the cigarette lighter itself. So don't forget about that. And then you have a plug here for your, well, if you're an SL, you have a plug for here if it's a first gen SL. So that's what I'm doing. I had to put some self tappers in this assembly, the center console, to fit my radio, but besides that, it's pretty much plug and play. So I'm gonna move on to the next step. Don't know where the F that goes, so that's awesome. I had my friend Sam over here helping me, and I forgot that there was plugs over there. So when I went to start it up, it didn't start, and then I was like, okay, it sounds like I'm not getting fuel. Turns out, whatever, you know, I plugged in over there, that goes under the dash, has something to do with fuel. So it starts right up now. I'll show you guys. But at first I was like, why does it say I have no gas? But I forgot that when you disconnect the gauge, it resets everything back to 0. So starts right up. I'm gonna have to figure out what that plug is, but besides that, these gauges seem to work fine, so that's a plus. I removed the ECS lights, so now they won't be flashing because of the coilovers, so we're all good. So never mind, I'm an idiot. It was sitting next to me. If you can't tell, this has been like frustrating, and when I have the key on, the rear wiper runs constantly, and I swapped it out with one of the older ones, or one of the other ones as like a spare, because my other one didn't work at all. So now it's always working, so it's like one or the other. So I'm just glad that this is working. I haven't tested the speedometer yet because of, you know, I haven't moved. I don't plan on driving the car for a while because I have to do a rear cam seal because one's leaking. I showed you guys that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. She's looking really good. So I'm gonna button everything up and then remove this and unplug it, really, because I'm never gonna use it. Actually, I have to take off for the day. As far as working on the car goes, I have the door panels left, and then that is it. So bear with me. Interior swap is done. Every plug is plugged in, minus the airbag, obviously. But yeah, guys, it's amazing. It starts up. I already tried starting it way before I even got this far, but I'm really excited about this. And next step will have to be the wheels. So as far as that goes, the wheels have some damage on them, so I have to get them fixed or fix them myself. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, I'm really excited. The next step of this car is, once these wheels are done, it's wrap. And after wrap, it's, as far as it goes, besides like maintenance and just upgrades, it's complete. The body is the last thing to make this car where I want. The interior is almost mint. The only thing that needs replaced is the rear seats. As you can see, they're kind of cracked right there. But yeah, guys, I'm really excited about this. And yeah, I guess that does it for the video. So thank you guys for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.